Go.
Hello, welcome to episode 56.
56. Wow, that's a lot.
He's intense today.
Yes, I love it.
Not
I
exciting,
like the energy.
but
Intense.
something.
Oh,
This week's announcements are brought to you by me. And what do we got first? But the social medias. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on. Don't bother with TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Discord. We're on YouTube, and also Facebook, I guess, if that's your thing. Give us the old like and subscribe. Follow us on Discord. The link is in our Instagram bio or on our website that is back to life, rollslayers.net. It's .com.
No,
It's actually rollslayers.net.
you have to say it in the voice,
Done it.
though.
.net.
It's .com.
That's very good.
Thank you. It's very well rehearsed. Homestar Runner impression. Rollslayers.net. That's the website. We got a lot of links in there too. So head on over, find our podcast on your preferred listening platform. Let's take a moment to talk about our good friends who have made the music possible. It was playing a second ago. I guess it's probably not now, or I can't hear it at least.
It's always underlaid in the announcements.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, we've got Beyond Skyrim, Scanlan's Short Halt Music, Celestial Aeon Project, and Sirenscape once in a while. All those guys bring the party to life, bring the energy to the zone. Go check out all those projects respectively. You know, they're great for D&D and they're free. So if you're trying to make your own kind of content, get on in there, use that stuff. Ask first, of course. Yeah, and always accredit your usages like we do here. What is patreon.com/rollslayers.
That's the one.
For the price of
So exciting.
for the price of like a gas station candy bar a month, you could help us out here. All that money is going into the show. Tyler keeps buying hotter and hotter lights.
It's true.
So
He likes us to glisten hotter and hotter.
yeah, and the more money you give, the hotter the lights get, and the sweatier they are. So
That's what you
donate.
want. You want us
Sign
to
up
sweat.
today. Get the little bit of bonus content that's in there. Maybe there'll be more. I don't know. Eldritch Foundry is where we go to print our minis here at the table and here in our various 2 states where this program occurs from. I'm sober today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Maybe that's the problem.
I like that you keep clarifying that. Like that there's a need to keep clarifying that.
I think there is because my words are not
You keep
working.
saying, I'm
today.
sober, guys. I'm sober. I'm sober.
I have to.
He's not.
Why would I insist so much? Eldritch Foundry is wherever you go to get custom minis, STL files, get them printed up, right good, get them in color, get them in metal, get them however you want, make their arms weird, make their arms normal, make their legs cool. Eldritch Foundry, use our code ROLLSLAYERS for 15% off at checkout. worldanvil.pxf.io/rollslayers is the link that you use to purchase a World Anvil. I'm not giving Tyler a fun fact today. He doesn't get to share that. No, sir. Instead, I'm going to talk about something I remember seeing in Tyler's World Anvil.
Oh.
It was just an inn. I can't even remember the name of the inn. He didn't give me very much.
What do you mean you're going to talk about it?
I'm just not letting him have any thunder. World Anvil. And that's all right.
That's it.
Yeah, I think so.
Ta-da.
Probably.
We might, on Patreon, we might put up a little player character battle royale thing soon. Because
If you give me the login, I'll just start putting weird stuff on there.
I want to see
Oh,
who
you want it?
wins
You
in a
do
fight.
it. Yeah.
I will.
We can play that online
I'll
too.
just turn the camera on here.
Well, yeah,
Wait,
I already voted
before
on
we
them
keep
in
doing
Discord.
this, let's play the game. last we left off, the party was figuring things out in Beorient. They were investigating cooperages. They were looking around at crazy tattooed Torvenbergen guys named Modin. They were inspecting illicit spirits and art houses and figuring out what Lara's Fine Art House was all about in terms of the smuggling game. And they ended the session by regrouping at a predetermined point, shaking their tails if they had any, and kind of coming to a debrief/discuss. So that's where we left off.
DM, can you repeat the name of the art gallery?
Lara's Fine Art
Lara?
House. Yes,
Thank you.
I believe house.
And what was the other one?
Albrecht's Cooperage.
Albrecht.
And Lara's Fine Art House, yes.
The barrel place.
Should have called it Barrelberg. Or Barrel Emporium. Or
Who is our
Barrels. Sorry.
Who is our contact at the Cooperage?
Albrecht,
Albrecht. Okay, thank you.
The-
Sorry.
said proprietor.
Or Barrels RS, so it just looks like Barrelsers.
Barrels. No spaces.
Barrelsers.
That's what's going on the Patreon. Name our next barrel store.
Cooperage for name.
Okay, so where are we now? Are we reconvening?
Yeah, you've reconvened. You're still in the city. You've not gone back to the Three-Eyed Giant or anything. You've just kind of stopped at this predetermined halfway point.
If memory serves, we've decided to not stay at the Three-Eyed Giant again because we're moving around. Yes?
I don't know.
That was what we said last session.
Okay, cool. As we're meandering through the city, Leaf will begin. Alright, so, it seems that we've all had kind of separate and exciting adventures. Maybe we ought to recap and do a little bit of light planning.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, especially if we're going to be doing deals.
Alright.
Not sure
So-
exactly what I got going. I think I've led the art dealer to believe that maybe we're in the confidence of perhaps some illicit, wealthy individuals interested in maybe purchasing some, I don't know.
Purchasing what now?
Well, she offered among her goods. She offered a deed to quite a sizable amount of land in Kaiju. So it seems like she deals in sort of influence and major resources, not just goods. So we need to workshop a bit if we go back there. What our story is or what our angle is. I can still play it being a footman, but
Did she give you any prices on all this power and the influence that she was selling to you?
no.
So we have no idea how much those things would cost. Probably more than the things that she did show us.
More than likely. Or it
And
might
those were lots of monies.
it might cost favors.
Oh.
So the back room she may not deal in gold. So it's unless we have another false identity, I don't know if I can keep up that charade.
I don't understand why Cordial thought that we would be able to do any of this.
Oh, he didn't. Remember?
Well, he loosely used the word disrupt.
Why are we doing this then?
For 10,000 gold pieces?
Is that it?
But what if we had to spend more than that to make this happen and then we don't actually make any money? You think he will pay us back for these crazy artifacts of power and things?
I think
Well, we could probably sell them. I don't know that that's the best route for us to go, but I don't think that we would have any issue offloading them, especially when, we know some wealthy individuals in Esmoon.
Okay.
I don't want to go that route, I'll be clear.
Yeah, it seems more like the goal is to try to get in and like mess everything up before we actually have to spend any money on anything, right?
I think so. The fun thing about this is I think we could go one of several ways. Here are the immediate paths that I see in front of us right now. One, go in and purchase so much influence that effectively we overtake the smuggling operation. I do not think we can do that. We do not have the capital.
Nor the vocabulary.
Nor the vocabulary, yes, that's true. We don't have the money, and even if we were able to con our way that far, we'd end up in greater debt than we already are, which seems counterintuitive. Now, secondarily,
Wait,
there's
hold on
the
a sec. How much debt are we in currently? Just this
well,
big with Cordy?
just the contract one. That's
Okay,
it.
okay.
Now. Secondarily, we could start firebombing everything. Doesn't seem the best to me. Lots of collateral damage, lots of risk of us being taken prisoner in a city where I do not want to be taken prisoner.
No,
And-
nor I.
Thirdly, following this little trail that's opened up between Albrecht and possibly Moden down at the cooperage. Here's what I know about those three, or two, I guess. One, Albrecht is ready to sell to us. That's fine. That would be a relatively easy in, and gradually get to know suppliers. And then in dealing with Moden, he needs supply, of which I do have some supply. So that
He was
could be a
that creepy guy, right? That
Yeah.
Okay, that guy was. Okay.
He's a fella in dire straits, and we could sort a problem out for him, which could potentially be a very big in for us.
Okay.
So we're
Yeah.
going undercover.
A little bit, yeah. And I'll be clear, I don't want to make this a long-term thing here. I don't want to stay in this city.
No.
I don't want to be affiliated with this ring. It's too big. It could crush any one of us right now. But it is going to take some dealing with unsavory folk to continue down the path far enough to where we know what to do.
So that is the plan. We just kind of keep doing this thing until we know what to do.
Well,
I think
I think to Leaf's point, firebombing things right now doesn't make sense because what if we only scratch the surface? But Cordial's contract was to disrupt the smuggling flow here. So if we can get some sort of in and find out maybe what's critical to their operations, or who we could scare out of town, or something that's more internal, we've got a much bigger advantage of having a larger effect.
Yeah, you find the weak spots and then, well, I should probably tell y'all something about when we met up. I was, you saw me with that group of goblins, right? Well, there was that.
At what point?
When we were back at that city.
Oh, back at Spagrin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spagrin, the Siege of Spagrin.
There was a back door, and we were supposed to find it and make sure that some of the Torvenbergen could get through. But then I saw all of you and figured, well, I didn't want to do that anymore. Point is, if we can find the proverbial back door of this operation, we could cause some serious damage.
Of the Torvenbergen? Or the Torvenbergen were trying to find the back door
Yeah.
of
Spagrin.
Siege,
Or, yeah, the siege.
where we took our grandpa. Oh,
Yeah. He's saying if we can apply that approach to this.
Yeah,
Basically.
same theory.
Same,
Oh, okay.
yeah, same theory.
so. You mean like a figurative back door here,
A
right?
figurative back door, yeah.
Wait, what were you looking for the back door for? Like, what was the plan?
Oh, Well, the strike team was gonna find the back door and bring all
What
sorts
back door?
like the secret path.
It's Vagrant.
The path you guys came down, they were gonna go up that path and unlock the elevators.
For a literal back door for
Yeah.
that. And now you're
Yes.
talking about a hypothetical back
Yeah.
door for this.
Yes.
Aha, I understand.
If we find there might be a literal back door, who knows?
That's true.
But if we find the hypothetical back door, then we might put a stop to the whole thing.
How do we do that?
To Leaf's point, keep sniffing out.
I think perhaps I
You
don't
guys
know his status in the organization, but
Still in
it
the
is
street?
No.
I think we went into like a bar of some kind.
Okay.
Yeah, we're probably at a
You've
town.
settled down somewhere.
We would not
You're
be
talking in confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm just
We would
clarifying.
never do that, Tyler.
Middle of the street, drumming on Mick's head.
anytime we have conversations like this, assume that it's in a place that makes sense.
We're doing this where everyone can definitely
We're
hear us.
we're standing in the middle of a square on top of a
right
fountain.
in front of the door of the cooperage.
Your plan was to meet up and discuss at a predetermined halfway point back to the three-eyed giant. So that's where my mind is at.
We all met up though.
Yeah, we said we
Up
stepped
open that
into
third
like
eye.
Okay. So you're at a predetermined location that is somewhere confident.
As we discussed in the previous episode.
Okay. Cool.
Kill him. Where were we in the middle of our discussion?
about
Uh,
following our leads.
I do think that, and this depends on his status, that Moden could potentially be that hypothetical backdoor to the organization. It could be that he's nothing more than a little, I guess nothing more than an urchin running around selling supply here and there, but he was talking a pretty big game about the nine. It's possible that maybe he's a little higher up than one would believe based on his appearance alone.
Well, I mean, he runs a barrel store, right? And
No, he's the guy that tried to stab you.
he doesn't run the barrel store.
No, Albrecht runs the barrel store.
Ah.
That guy was in talking to Albrecht about how he didn't have enough supply anymore.
Fair.
Also, as a reminder, I do have a lot of cold flake that I don't know. I haven't had time to deal with.
Yeah, that could be a good in.
Also, pretty, if you're looking for a place to get rid of that so you're not still carrying it around, that's probably a less noticeable environment.
Couldn't you just
Yes,
leave it on
exactly.
the street corner or something if you don't want it anymore?
It could, but it might be of use
Like to sell it.
to earn somebody's trust or...
Well then let's do that. That sounds like that's a good plan.
All right. Well, I have plans to meet up with a runner from Albrecht, just to get next steps on potential smuggling of illicit beverages.
So I got a question
Okay.
about if we're doing dealings with this guy, what are we gonna do about me? Because the last time I was there,
Oh,
I thought you were like a new goblin now or something. Aren't there like a million goblins everywhere all the time?
that's
like,
one way
maybe
to do
that
it.
was like other goblin and now you were like our goblin.
Well, we also have to be prepared for the possibility that he recognizes my face.
So we'll get you a hat.
Was pretty close to your face when he was trying to choke you to death.
Yeah.
Somebody here probably has something you could rub on your face.
I don't think
Something
we can
right in your
disguise
eyes.
you for so long, though.
Somebody have some charcoal or something? Give him some dark sauce.
Anybody got any magic to kind of, I don't know, give me a bigger nose or something?
No, we can find some
Well-
mud.
I can just punch you every day. You're like really swollen all the time.
Well, that does not sound like the best idea.
I think it sounds
I've
great.
heard.
look, here's my opinion: is I don't think we need to even disguise them at all. I think that, people like that tend to let bygones be bygones. There's lots of shady scut going on already.
Wait, do you
What if-
really think that if he sees him again, he's not going to just kill him immediately?
Visa.
No, I mean, it'd be bad business if he's in the company of somebody who's trying to, solve his problem with supply.
Visa wanders over in the establishment to just like wherever like last night's hearth was and just kind of covers one hand in soot and wanders back to Mert and kind of gives him like a semi-raccoon makeup, just like black around the eyes and just kind of like smoky bandit mask almost.
Oh, that looks
Simba.
so cool.
That just looks like he has makeup on.
Well, sure.
What if we make up a story?
I mean, that seems necessary no matter what, because even if we show up with him, it's going to be tough for somebody like that to take us seriously, I guess.
Maybe the story is like if he doesn't have the makeup on, he's crazy. But when we put the makeup on his eyes, then he's like a behaving goblin.
Well, if I know anything about goblins, there's lots of us, right? And generally speaking, we're kind of the front line. You know, you don't want to get hurt yourself, and so you'd rather hurt the goblin.
Sure.
Oh.
I don't know. It's not unusual for there to be one or two of us in the employ of.
Like you're the little punching bag for all the punches,
Yeah.
and everybody else is safe.
Again, I should just punch his face every day so that it looks different.
Well, sometimes some of the less intelligent ones are known to be trainable.
Then maybe save it
What
for
if we
if he
put
starts
like
talking.
hair on top of your head?
The less intelligent ones can be trainable?
Well, we're generally speaking, we're a very subservient species.
Really?
I mean, when we're ordered to do something, we pretty much just do it.
Is that what you don't?
That has
ever
not
do
been
it?
my experience at all.
Yes, exactly.
But he's an intelligent goblin.
I don't know about intelligent. I'm just stubborn.
No, you're good.
I mean, you learned common in like 2 days.
Was it 2 days?
Basically, yes.
It was longer than that, but I'm starting to wonder how many norms does Kibble break?
Well, hopefully, oh god, maybe we picked the wrong
Kibble?
one to be in charge of this.
Running the store.
Sure.
I thought that was Gribble.
Well, yes.
Well, he's Kibble to his friends. Gribble is his given name.
His
Whoa.
Christian name, if you want.
All right. So, all right, we'll throw this out there then. Maybe you're one of those goblins that's just a little bit feral, and somebody's taking care of you. You got off your lead or whatever.
You know, that's believable because when I got strung up, I pretended like I couldn't speak common, or
Oh, that's even better. That's great.
yeah.
So maybe we keep with that,
He tried to interrogate me, and I just threw out some words.
but maybe build it up just a little bit.
Like maybe you taught me some phrases that I can repeat here
You
and
can
there.
put like a little rope on you, and you can be like a little baby goblin that we take care of and keep in check.
Like a
Oh.
pet.
Or do you want to make him like a special harness?
Yeah, I could put like shiny things on it so that
Like little toys for the goblin to be entertained by.
exactly. So he tries not to run off because he's got such a very cool thing that he can
Yes, like
hold
go
on
look
to.
with the
like-
goblin, play with your toys.
all the
See,
time.
don't go away, don't bite people.
Perfect.
And what happened? You know, I've always wanted a crafting assistant.
Oh, like he's your little slave.
If
to
I'm
help you
trying
make the
to-
shop.
Not a slave.
Oh,
Well, let's find out
there's
if
somebody that you make work for you to help you that you don't. You just make him while he wears your leash harness.
It's like a friend who creates alongside you, but I also give all the directions and
Yeah. Well, here's how we can.
have all the ideas.
Here's how we can
That
sell
they
it.
are a subservient race, so he might be good for that.
Here's how we can sell it. You like to craft things with shiny, right?
Right, exactly. And
you
are
figured-
attracted to shiny.
You figured you found a feral goblin that was very good at fishing out some shiny stuff.
Absolutely.
perfect.
Now, the tricky
And the
part.
reason that I wear armor is so that you don't kill me.
Yeah. You know, the tricky part though, but also maybe works in our favor. Given that the last time they saw me, I was sneaking around and poking through some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I happen to get off leash, I can get into some pretty small spaces and fish out some more information.
It's a good idea.
I love it.
So to clarify, he's no longer a canary in a coal mine. He is a pet / crafter.
Yeah, I think he's like. She needs him to. He knows enough to where she's like, oh, go get me the cog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Does that
But
sound
he's
right?
not trained yet. He's obviously feral.
Well, he
and-
can be both. You know. He's really good at retrieving, but he's also feral.
He was just trying to fetch something, okay?
So how did we pick you up?
Well,
Because I'm sure this doesn't happen, like, ever.
well,
And so some people may have questions.
stray goblins are not that hard to find.
So you can also give him sort of a one-word answer, because...
Well, right now he doesn't, like, barely even know English, right?
I know, but you're going to be talking to a lot of strangers. You don't owe them a full explanation. So if they say, where'd you get him, just say a gutter.
Yeah, it's not hard to find us in gutters.
I'm sure you'll work out something if the conversation has to keep going that way, but that's pretty convincing in a city this large. It's pretty populated.
Okay. What do we call you then? Obviously not your name.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
Fourth forever. Not here.
Chris, you know what to do.
No, I
you
am.
are.
I am bored.
I forgot. You're
Hey, you
all
were
in
there.
It's written. You
arms.
kind of have
Yeah,
to.
you really stuck the landing.
You're contractually obligated to.
Oh,
So, what does he suggest, Chris?
Blurred.
I think we know what the suggestion is.
What
I
is
found it.
Just say it.
Would you like me to read it aloud, Chris?
Oh boy.
My suggestion earlier in the Discord was Gooby Dopus.
Okay.
Can you say that in Goblin then?
But why would I call him
It's
that?
already in
Well,
Goblin.
No, you don't
That's
understand.
what he looks
name.
like.
Ori, no, you don't understand. I have a surname. That's actually a pretty big deal with that one.
It's a name of.
What?
So you can't be a feral goblin and have a surname?
No, you can be a feral goblin with a surname. That just means you're descended from like one of those, noble families.
Does it mean you're,
Oh,
you're
okay.
down on your luck?
Yeah,
So-
that can happen.
Okay, so what kinds of names are those?
Oh, the
Like Gooby Dopus?
the Dopus clan. They're like this very very storied historical clan.
But how would we know that if you don't speak common?
What?
We don't need to share these details.
I need to get my story straight because
What? Just
I
don't tell
freeze
me.
when people ask me questions.
just don't tell them his last name is Dopus.
One of you's a goblin
So I
scholar
call
or something.
you
That's the one.
Right. That's right.
Why would I call you Goopy?
Well, you need to call him something.
I mean, I would probably say Shiny.
Well, you've met goblins, right?
Shiny or Sparkle or
Well, like-
something like that.
What's my name?
We've
That's
met
just
you,
the
we've
meaning.
met Rat, we've met Kibble,
Yeah.
we've met some other little ones.
Well, I mean, most goblins' names are it's the first sound they make after coming out of the pit. It's entirely possible that one of us said Gooby at one point.
I'm sensing a theme here.
I mean, I
What
don't know
kind
if
of theme?
I don't know. Ask Rockfalzik.
That was really good.
I was paying attention.
His pronunciation is getting really good.
That was pretty
Who
good.
is Rekfalzik?
Me.
That's
Close.
His him.
Why is that your name?
Because that's the first sound she made. He made.
the sound of your first vomit when you are
emerge from
the crash group.
Okay, so this is the same thing?
Little
like
that is
when you
little-
emerge from the egg.
You stay
From
and
the
then
goop.
then you stay in the goop and you feed on the goop for a while, and then when you are big enough, to graduate from the hatching room and the goop, then you begin to vomit the goop and they know you need
That
to
is
move
what your
on.
name is.
But that is becomes your name is the sound of that first one.
And so whenever you and your goblin can come out of the goblin pit, that's also...
Yeah, it's kind of weird how much similarity there is there.
Maybe like
Aren't
like
cultural-
little cousins or something.
Yeah.
Cultural commonalities are a fascinating and wonderful thing, aren't they?
Maybe it's like at some point there was like a goblin and an elf, and then the gifts were made.
Oh, I don't like that.
I'm just
All right,
saying,
well,
we are more like tall with beautiful ears, and this is so small.
I'm trying to plan. I'm trying to plan.
That's how
We are planning the story.
To be
This
green.
is what we are doing. We have
No,
to
what
dig
we are
into
doing,
the
we're adding-
backstories.
Here's what happens: is when you add too many details to it, you start to lose track. You might just
No.
make things up.
No,
I think
I
we all-
need a solid ground to base my story off of.
We all
Okay.
need
Yeah.
the hypothetical
Look,
ancient history
We are
of
new
our
to
races.
this shenanigans.
I understand.
Life. We have to come up with these things.
I understand, Leaf, that you are very good with making up stories all the time, literally every minute, probably. I don't have that.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I can be very persuasive, but that's like kind
You know-
of all I got with the talking and people.
To Ori's point, you never know who's a goblin scholar.
all right. Gooby Dopus it is.
Makes
Of
perfect sense.
the rich Dopus clan.
You think I'm joking?
I don't think you're joking at all. I'm not
But would
mocking.
we know that
Let's assume.
all of the goblin hierarchy name stuff?
Let's assume that you've been employing Gooby for long enough that he's mentioned that many details to you during your employment.
Without knowing how.
You didn't ask. You know his name's Gooby. He mentioned he comes from the Dopus family.
I maybe not even mention that part.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
You're allowed to not know your employees terribly well.
He's a friend. He's not an employee.
Well, it's up to you.
Maybe we just need to say it enough times. It feels normal.
All right, everyone together, we're going to chant.
Just call you Goo.
Gooby.
Hello, Gooby.
Gooby.
Gooby, our friend. our mascot, Gooby the Goblin.
And I'll be clear, Gooby is not my friend. Gooby is an employee of an associate of mine.
It's true.
I'm adding
I
a
will
year
never
to my
have to
projected
worry about.
campaign.
I might call.
What?
So I'm adding a year to my projected campaign
We
time
have
estimate.
to investigate the Dopus clan now.
I hope you're prepared to ride the Dopus family into the hegemony.
It's already going in the world.
All right, back on track. Gooby Dopus.
That's the T-shirt now.
Alright, back on track.
Okay, we're doing well. Once we've got that nailed down, the story seems somewhat straightforward. He's just a goblin that you manage, I guess. He assists you with your research projects. And as of tomorrow, I need to meet an associate from, oh God, now I'm losing track of Alberix to begin the process of smuggling, at which point I will request a meeting with Modin.
Okay, and what should I do? Like, go play in the libraries?
Oh, yeah.
Should we still be split up?
I think we can probably convene at this point. I don't see any reason for us to be split.
Okay, then what are we gonna say, like, when... I don't know, maybe you should just do the talking.
Raiding party goods and services.
No,
We're
should we tie that
legitimate
back to Isaloon? Should we have a different group name while we're here?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Like, I don't know, dinner party goods and services?
I think that might be too close.
All right. We can workshop something.
Hang on, let me get my map pulled up. All right, how about this, Visa? Where you come from, there's probably some kind of a business that, just name a restaurant or something from the town where you're from, and maybe we just treat it the same way we treat our general store. It's a legitimate business fronting for something else.
Sure. What business from my hometown would I like to incriminate?
Oh, there's got to be
We all
something,
have
right?
one of those in real life, don't we?
It's true.
Let's go with it's the twin shells.
The twin shells?
Sure, twin shells shipping. What's that?
Okay, great. Great. I work with twin shells. Why would you call it that? Twin shell shipping.
Twin shells, seashells by the seashore.
Twin shells.
Oh my goodness.
Twin shells
Maybe
shipping.
drop the S, just twin shell shipping.
Twin shell shipping. All right, that's actually much easier.
There you go.
All right. So that'll be where we're from now.
That's a sort of vague service where you can sort of imply that you have connections.
I like it. What do you want to do? Do we want to shop for anything? We got some time before we meet anybody.
I haven't prepared a shopping list.
No, we did have. I mean, the timeline doesn't matter, but we do need to at some point probably see about stopping by one of the temples here.
I would like to do that, honestly. Anytime.
I know they may have books and information, but I'm pretty keen on speaking to someone about the weather.
Well,
I would like to do that as well.
no time like the present, I guess. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind. I told y'all, it's hard to believe I do enjoy doing some digging, much like our friend Zai here.
So should we just go and look at some those places and that?
Yeah, well, we deserve an afternoon off,
Let's do it.
So you guys are looking for temples?
Temples.
Okay.
Should we find a new inn first?
Sure.
We'll
Or we
probably
could
keep
look on the way.
keep our eyes out on the way.
Yeah, okay.
And to be clear, the supplier setup message is coming to the Three-Eyed Giant. That's where he asked where you're staying, you said. The Three-Eyed
Yes,
Giant.
he is coming to the Three-Eyed
Okay,
Giant.
you're
I'm
looking for a new
there.
place to stay then.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm just gonna go back there tomorrow and meet him when he shows up.
Are you guys wanting to stay in this district of Mistdun, or are you going to go up to the Honored Grounds area to stay?
Is that closer to the big tower?
Yeah. So there's two sections to this city, part in a valley, part on a kind of a solo hill. The hill is the Honored Grounds. It's a little more hoity-toity, I'd say.
I don't think we need to stay up there, right?
No, unless we find a need to
Put on airs.
put on airs. Like if we need to reinforce that other cover story about being some well-to-dos.
But
Or like maybe we just escaped from our well-to-do family and we're like roughing it for a bit.
I mean, that wasn't the story at all, but
Could be now.
that's
sure.
our story.
Well, that is my story. It's much easier to maintain.
Well, the best lies are steeped in a little bit of truth.
Well, we just cross that bridge if we come to it, and probably we won't.
Works for me.
What are we deciding on?
Where to sleep tonight? The inns over here are probably a bit cheaper. It's probably good if we're sort of avoiding prying eyes, or trying to get eyes on more ne'er-do-wells.
Go ahead and someone make an investigation check, a persuasion check.
I
some
can
sort of-
investigate.
Goes.
I'll do persuasion.
what you guys can find around.
Nice. 15 on persuasion.
25
Okay.
on investigation.
You're able to find a couple of inns. The more prevalent one being mentioned is the Gilded Dryad. Or you're able to spot as you guys are walking another one called the Long Locust. The Gilded Dryad appears to be kind of this chipped paint, gold, sort of middle of the road inn. It's not super nice. It's not super horrible. The Long Locust is a giant, looks like a giant, longhouse townhome sort of thing. It's pretty long. It looks cheap. It looks gross. It's got a stone floor and then a wood and thatch second and third story.
Are we looking for cheap and gross? That's what a 25 gets me?
Yeah, you found 2 inns
Cool.
in your immediate area. You also found the Gilded Dryad, but I give that to Mert because she rolled lower.
Well, do we want mediocre or do we want bad?
I'd vote for mediocre.
I think if
Mediocre's good.
we're not needing to scrimp, we might as well not.
If we need another place to hide
Or
out-
do we need to be stealthy? Kind of.
Well, as Leaf has, indicated, it might be helpful to move around sometimes. Helps to have a third option,
Okay.
but maybe only if we need to.
If we need to lie low.
Sure.
Okay.
You guys are going to the Gilded Dryad, or are you stopping there after your evening?
If we're able to just swing by and grab keys.
Yeah. For 5 or 6 of you, are you guys each getting a room?
Depends. Are people gonna get sloshed this time?
I would not ask or expect my own room unless somebody was like, we're all doing our own rooms.
Okay.
Visa will probably grab 2 rooms again.
2 rooms.
Cool.
I'd say that's going to be 10 silver pieces.
Okay, I got it.
So
Yeah, we should
are,
have stayed here to begin with.
are we interested? What are we interested in going to do?
I think we're starting up
We're
to
going
temples.
to
Go
look
into
at
the temples.
temples and see what we can find in there about the sky and maybe just other cool magic things and
Okay.
Wait, there might be some artisans in the district. Keep your eye out to see if there's any local crafting.
maybe we could investigate that Kaju place.
Yeah. Okay. At some point, I really need to work on this mithril, but I think if we all want to go together to do something, then I can wait on that.
Well, certainly, at least.
Especially if I'm going to babysit you.
I suspect we'll have at least another day here.
Okay. And so, am I going to have to... Are we... This is your story now, right? Okay, alright, so we have to do this all the time.
Well, maybe the 2 of you could stay back and actually do some work, and maybe that would enhance the story. If anybody sees this little green guy, they see him doing the job or whatever.
Yeah, we gotta maintain the illusion.
Yeah, definitely.
You could make him his little robe and his little harness first,
Yeah.
and then you could use it for him while
You
he's
can-
helping you with the mithril.
You can look at all my stuff and pick what you would be drawn to.
I like it.
Okay. And if there's anything that we need that we can help on, you guys can just come back or send me a message. Do you have something?
Yes, I could just send you a message and you could come help us if you need to. But probably not, because it's probably just going to be chill people in the temples. And
Yeah.
they're not going to be causing mischief probably.
Yeah, okay. That's good. Yeah. Let's do that.
So,
If that's okay with you.
where are you guys
Yes.
going? Sorry, I kind of got lost. Where are you guys going?
You weren't listening?
I was putting
Wow.
Clan Dopus in the
Clan
world.
Dopus. It's in the world.
Okay, I guess you don't know what's going on now.
I guess I'm just a gooby dopus.
Sounds like y'all are advancing the plot, and Nat and I are gonna go off and do a shopping episode.
Okay.
Or crafting.
Or like crafting.
Yeah.
So we're splitting
Crafting
the party.
Good.
Go ahead and roll just, well, no. It's like a harness and a rope. You're not gonna have to roll for that. You can just spend some time working on that.
I have various like fabrics and various little gemstones. Not huge, but I have some shinies, and little metals and stuff. And so, whatever you want, help me design it, or I can just.
Well, typically in these kinds of situations, goblins just have rope, People who have little goblin pets don't really care about the condition of their... So, really, it's up to
Well,
you.
what if I care?
Well, yeah, that's entirely your prerogative.
Cool. Here, I'm just going to grab, like, a pouch of, like, fairly cheap, but, like, gaudy-looking gems.
Okay.
Or fake gems, whatever. And you can pick whatever you want, and I can just use some regular rope and we can attach some of the shinies, like maybe have kind of like a little keychain of little like fidgets.
What makes the most sense is if you arrange it and then I pick off a few pieces.
You pick off?
Yeah, give the impression that like you tried to make it look nice, but I couldn't help myself.
Oh yeah. Okay. And as a goblin pet, should the leash like attach to your wrist or your ankle or
usually
not your neck?
Usually it's the neck.
Oh. I hate that.
Yeah. Now hearing it out loud, goblin lives are kind of miserable.
That sucks.
Now you see why I was so intent on trying to get those goblins freed.
Whatever you would be most comfortable with, but also able to keep up the appearance.
All things considered, it's really the condition of the little goblin servant entirely in the person who is, has him. So, if you want to make a nice little harness, that's fine.
You've seen nicer harnesses in Keldrat for, like, hobgoblin lords who have,
He's a leash kid now.
several goblins. You've seen almost snow sled-like devices for some really high up hobgoblins who just, like, have a little carriage of goblin guys running them around. So, it's not unheard of.
It's wild that this is just part of the lore now.
Okay, I'm gonna do like some kind of harness, but that looks like really cool.
Okay.
So that you, as a feral goblin, don't mind having it on because it makes you look cool and it's so shiny and like fascinating.
Yeah, that could work.
And then I can add like kind of like I said, like a little keychain of little doodads that you can like play with and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that way it looks cool, and then
that's actually believable.
Exactly.
That's very believable.
Because I'm not keeping you as a slave or something like that. Like, no, I want you to want to do this.
Yeah. It's a very different kind of goblin owner.
I wouldn't normally own goblins, so yep.
This went like a completely different direction.
Mert, I'm so sorry about how you had to grow up.
Goblins, most people don't give us any consideration.
But you're your own person.
Yeah. So are most of us.
Yeah.
Well,
Super snip.
I'm so
If-
sorry.
if we can figure it out, it would be really nice to,
Help some of those guys out.
yeah. So last time I left that batch of goblins, they were pretty set on, following the Torbenbergen.
Oh. They're just gonna use them.
Well, you see, just given how things went over at Spakrin, the Torbenbergen have realized goblins are not just cannon fodder. We're kind of sneaky. We can kind of get into places, and I think they see that now. So it might be a very different kind of arrangement, but I don't know. They're still being looked to as grunt work kind of folk.
Yeah. Well. Maybe we can try to figure that out one day. But hopefully this story looks believable.
Oh yeah.
So I just work on
While
that.
this is happening,
We chat about goblin life.
yeah, while you're having an existential crisis about what it was like to grow up as a goblin, you guys are looking for temples?
The big one.
The big one.
Hey,
You're going to the big one. Okay.
hey.
Or do we
Let
need
me
to
scroll up.
find out which one has like the best library, or
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
actually that's
You guys can ask
Well-
around town if you want. There's
Quartz was the big one, right?
the big one is definitely quartz.
maybe if we get into the area, we can start to ask a local. See, was there sort of a public access library, or was it just like where the most of the priests congregate? Any faux pas?
Oh, that would probably be some good knowledge to have before we start walking into other temples, I guess.
Generally, places of I don't know, royalty or religion. Find out if there's like a specific offensive custom. Don't do that. But I mean, besides that, we can just head towards the statue, I'd assume.
Okay.
So you guys stopping someone to ask some
Yeah.
extra questions?
We'll just ask somebody.
You just stop someone on the street, some Bergen guy walking by.
Anybody holding paper?
Paper.
Yeah, anybody holding paper. So it could be like merchant, it could be
Yeah.
priest. But if we pass somebody in that kind of side of the city,
There's like this thick, calloused skinned earth genasi walking by with a stack of papers and a small chest under his arm. Looks to be a merchant dressed that way. Who stops?
yeah, and just
You-
wave him down. Like,
Sorry,
Yes.
recently travelled here looking for sort of the local source of information. Do you know if there's like a main library in one of the temples, or if
Sure, not in the temples, but there is a library.
in and amongst them?
In the honored grounds, there's a big library, can't miss it. Pieka Harfin, I think it's called.
Pieka Harfin.
Pieka Harfin, yeah.
Many thanks.
Yeah. You're looking for temples as well, though.
Sure. I mean, obviously the main one. But if there were others
Well,
of,
I don't think you're heading there, are you?
Looks
What?
over your group.
why wouldn't I be?
Well, you don't seem the type for that sort of clergy.
A bit more hands-on.
Yeah. Fighting.
I had a feeling it was quite the statue of prowess.
Yeah. People don't go there unless they're looking to prove themselves to the Stormlord.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Or to meet with other magnates.
Well, I'm sure you can tell by my frame. It's probably not the one I'm looking for.
Well, you'd be surprised. High Priest. He's quite thin.
Well, that's very polite of you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yes. If you are looking for something around here, I would look for the Abbey of the Devoted. That's where the rest of the gods are worshipped.
Thank you kindly.
He just busies off down the way.
At mention of fighting, I would have turned to Zach with like really big, excited eyes.
And Zeg just like nods his head, but
So it looks like we've got 3 highlights. We've got the library, the sort of common meeting place for the rest of worship, and then the main temple to God.
By the way, that temple is called the Berserkers Chapel.
The Berserkers Chapel. Chad Chapel.
There's also one more church you'd note about, but it's mostly a graveyard. It's called the Mausoleum of the Fallen.
Mausoleum of Fallen.
Mausoleum of the Fallen. It's called Clan Dugas.
Lisa, don't you have some like experience with like the Stormfather and all of that?
What? No, I mean,
Oh,
experience in that I've sailed with many of his followers,
okay.
but
But you are not one of them yourself.
no, I mean, I've paid my respects to his shrines before, but same as I've paid respects to, like, the Wild Mother or the Gods of Sunlight.
Okay.
There's generally a few that I'll show respects to.
Alright.
Oftentimes, as if I'm traveling with, like, direct worshippers of them.
Have you seen any great battles that have been dedicated to the Stormfather?
I've seen people offer prayers after a fight.
Oh,
And truth be told, I've seen a number of Dwarvenbergen worship the Storm Lord.
that makes sense. Seems like it's a pretty big deal here.
Mhm.
So should we go check that place out?
Maybe not first.
Okay.
Like, if we find what we can elsewhere,
Okay.
I wouldn't mind. Unless you're keen on taking a look.
I would not hate to spar, but I think I would like to know what that entails before getting.
That's a good idea.
Before getting. Well, I don't want to like all of a sudden accidentally dedicate myself to Ford by killing someone in his temple or something.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Not if you're keen on actually, like, some real commitment to the Vandra.
Right, and given what his followers are doing, I'm not actually sure I'm that into Cord.
Then perhaps we'll go to the other temple first.
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, really, I want you to find out what's wrong with the stars.
I would think that as there's more gods being worshipped there, not necessarily more prayers being heard or sent, but perhaps more perspectives. At least I hope.
I would kind of like to figure out what that weird spider lady was. Did not
I'm
like
sure we can
her.
get you some information there.
Can I make a history check on Weird Spider Lady?
You can make a religion check.
Oh, okay.
Also, Adon Richter also worships the Stormlord, so it's often a interpretation thing.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, hell yeah, we're back. I rolled an 8.
You never heard no Spiral Lady? That's my
Man.
purse. I don't know you.
I don't know what that's from.
You don't know King of the Hill?
Not that part.
That's my purse!
Sorry. Continuing.
What?
You guys are headed where? The Abbey?
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way back into kind of the, throes of the city. The statue starts to recede from the skyline before it's kind of blotted out by the tall buildings and the crowds and the mist. Eventually you find your way to more of an open square that has a very traditional medieval style cathedral where it's got these two kind of towers in a T shape, and then they kind of intersect and come to a big long hallway. Tall, arched windows of stained glass, buttresses, spires, all sorts of stuff. Big double doors made of oak. You guys are able to enter. It's very clean on the interior. It seems to be like marble floors, like obsidian or like slate walls of some sort, like a deep kind of dark gray. And then the stained glass windows obviously have a little bit of light filtering in, but not too much with the misty blockage of the sun. There are other side passages, and there is a stairway down. It's very Oblivion Cathedral layout for those of you who have played Oblivion, actually. And the main actual centrifuge of the hall is pews. It is altars to specific gods. It is what look to be like there are a couple like icons that are actually housed within locked cases. And perusing the halls are several priests and various worshippers. You approaching someone? Is there a specific
would be,
god
like,
gravitating towards?
Kind of dumbfounded and just staring around, wide-eyed and white-mouthed.
Yes. Remind me, it was the Abbey of what?
Abbey of the Devoted. And if you want to, you can kind of see there are 4 main gods that are worshipped here. There is one with like the symbology of a scale and a female statue of her. Arathis is easily recognizable to most of you. There is a blowing set of wind and breeze and a hooded woman, Avandra, also easily recognizable to you two. There is a skulled entity. You probably would have to make a religion check if any of you want to know what that thing is. And then there is a like black void symbol on one of the stained glass windows with no statue, but obviously being worshipped.
I would like to know as many things as I can find out.
Okay, roll religion.
I would. Is there? We came here for like a library, correct?
A library.
Is that right?
I don't know exactly what.
There is a library that is not this establishment.
You don't recognize either of the other 2 gods. You do know that this is Arathis. She is a lawbearer. She is about justice and honor. You know who your god is. The other 2, nothing.
Great.
But no library here.
No library.
Oh.
Visa is going to look for anywhere in the abbey that priests might be like poring over correspondence or notes, or any of them are like holding conference.
Sure. I mean, there is plenty of like. This is a pretty large chapel, so there are plenty of lecterns set up. There are people studying. You don't see any priests really grouping up.
Okay.
So it might be better to approach someone going over notes or something like that.
Are the priests like just general keepers of the abbey, or like distinct?
You see
Different orders.
You
or
see
different-
5 different like sets of priests. There are those
Okay.
wearing general brown,
Okay.
and there are those wearing colors to specific gods.
Okay.
They do speak with patrons. They do take tithes, but they also do other things.
Okay.
Then I think Visa would probably. He'd probably look for anyone poring over notes that is either on the side of the altar next to Avandra or bearing her symbology.
Sure. Easy enough. You can come to one of the like little desks, and like writing kind of in a little notebook is this blonde-haired, younger, scholarly-looking gentleman. He's got like kind of a goatee, who looks up as you approach. Well, hello. What can I do for you? Goes to stand.
Oh, well met. I'm here with some of my traveling companions. We're seeking some guidance.
Vondra, bless you. You've come to the right place.
Zaya would not be with this. She would have completely forgot why we came here and just gone and kneel in front of the Avandra place.
Okay.
I'm not here.
Just kind of interested in knowing if the priests here, well, if there's been any consensus about portents of late.
Portents like, well,
Like signs,
yeah.
or signs or readings that seem to corroborate like a current message.
We priests of Avandra specifically, we don't deal in portents. We follow the path where it leads. But perhaps one of the priestesses of Shar or Merkul. Arathis doesn't deal in portents either. Neither really does Merkul, but Shar, she could.
Well, I suppose that's why. Thank you for your answer. Why I wanted to ask you, just to know if there'd been any like well, pardon the simple term, but sharing of notes.
Oh, no, we are devoted separately, but we do talk. I've not heard tale of portents or ill or booness times.
Well, that's what I'm interested in today. So I thank you very kindly for your time.
Yes, of course. And name?
I think here he feels pretty comfortable. He goes,
Visa.
Anders. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Feel
Anders.
free to pray or to seek guidance from any of us, or if you gravitate towards the other gods, or just in general.
I think my companions are making use of this place.
Yes. And we do offer services to court, but they're a little less.
That's quite all right.
Yeah. Okay. Back to my book.
Thank you.
He just sits down kind of nervously again.
Then eagerly is going to look for somebody available for what he assumes, kind of recognizing maybe those pretty common names would be the goddess of darkness, not the god of death.
Correct.
Assuming the void, not the skull.
Yes. You're gonna go speak with one of the priestesses?
Priest or priestess?
Only priestesses.
Priestesses.
For the Night Singer here.
Then yes.
Yes, you can approach any of them, and still one kind of writing, or does it matter?
I think again, like if he spied anybody that was poring over like notes, correspondence, or talking with more than one, that's what he's looking into.
Sure. There is a drow woman poring over a large table of papers near the back of the church.
Then he would politely approach and try to not impede.
Okay. As she clocks you in her peripheral, there's this kind of bubbling black smoke that emanates from her palms, which are flat on the table to obscure everything on it. She looks up.
Hail, Pilgrim.
As she greets him, he'll, I think, acknowledge the gesture and move to turn where he can't see, like move around so that the desk is in between them.
Sure. She smiles graciously as she walks around to meet your eye line.
Greetings.
You come to worship the Night Singer?
I don't. I do come to seek her intermediaries' guidance or information.
We do have a strong connection to the Night Singer here.
You get weird questions all the time.
Like you wouldn't believe.
My companions and I have traveled, and we're looking into portents. and specifically portents of recent times, and if they're, well, if there's any trend, meaning to maybe corroborate what we've been hearing, trying to separate superstition from, well, what might be supernatural.
Make it a perception or persuasion check here.
Come on.
Can I give him advantage by helping by looking very confused? Making us look like we're here for a reason?
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
Skills. Not the most persuasive. 12.
There have been signs given to us by Our Lady, and if we are reading them correct, good signs. I am assuming you are looking for detail for corroboration, though.
Well, it would only be fair, well, it would only be sensible for me to share some of the details that I mean to filter through,
Very well.
if that would offer any sort of baseline. Do followers of Shar study the stars at all?
Well, there's your corroboration. But to your question, yes and no. There are two sects of the theology. The first sect, they don't study the stars or portents or any of that because darkness will envelop us all. The future does not matter.
Right, substance not being the source of meaning.
Yes. Many of us study the space between. The spatial alignment. And in corroboration, as you are interested in the stars, I am assuming that you are speaking of the changes. We've noticed, yes.
Have your companions or your lady shed any enlightenment as to the... I don't know the word for it. I don't want to say purpose. I don't want to say cause. Meaning, maybe?
What meaning could it have besides that our goddess, the Night Singer, the Void, is growing in influence and power and capability, if she's to snuff the very lights from our sky?
It's certainly compelling.
It's how we interpret it. I'm sure many interpret it many ways, but
Oh, certainly.
I am cautiously optimistic. What is your business with the stars, if I may ask?
Well, it's far more mechanical. You see, I'm a navigator. And, well, you can tell by my age that I've become quite used to a cycle of the stars, and so when they behave differently or stop behaving a certain way, in a very physical way, I notice I started getting lost.
I've always had a fondness for sailors. They ride a thin line with darkness above and darkness below.
A strange reliance on light, but setting a course and trusting when there is no light.
Well, if you have any other questions, me or my sisters are happy to answer.
I'm gonna roll to see if Visa will ask his other question.
Okay.
Slowly, Visa will kind of like fidget with his hand a little bit.
The spaces between the emptiness and the night sky. Could there be more meaning than just shard growing in strength? About specific stars going missing?
Perhaps. We are not wizards or sorcerers, but there are always practitioners of magic out there who could deliberate on the nature of magic and its ability to snuff stars, specific stars. Perhaps even a wizard out there who has traveled to them. Magic it's a tough nut to crack. There are many reasons the stars could be changing. I just have faith.
Kind of recognizing the non-answer, he'll kind of withdraw and go,
Well, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Of course. Goes back to her table. The shadow spell vanishes. What is everyone else doing while this is happening? Are we just worshipping, praying, reading?
I would be sitting and praying.
I will sit at the Wanderer's sort of shrine area, like a few pews back, and just be like sitting, looking around, like a little bit bored, but also like spending a decent amount of time sort of like staring at, like kind of zoning out at the figure.
Leaf, do you have anything specific you're doing, or?
No, not really. Well, maybe sitting out front pretending to be blind with a little cloth in front of me.
You're trying to pretend to be a priest?
No, I'm just trying
No,
to
beggar.
be a blind man in front of the.
Oh, go ahead and roll a deception.
All right, guys, here comes another one of my classic 8s.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
That was a 17.
Hey!
That's okay.
You see
I rolled a.
several priests believe you to be blind and put some gold into a cup of yours. You make 12 gold.
Whoa,
Dang.
12 gold?
Not bad.
Okay.
hey,
That's
That's funny.
full-time job.
What a haul!
As you guys prepare to leave, are you guys staying here or are you guys leaving?
Yeah, Visa would probably post up at a bench near the door.
Okay, you guys are able to meet up with Ori and Mert if you want to at this point. Mert's probably got his harness made.
Oh yeah.
So you guys are able to reconvene if you'd like.
Sure.
Is there anything else specific we're doing with our free time?
I think the library was the other stop.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are going to head up into the honored grounds. You go through that large gate that has the like the wall encircling the crown of the hill, leading into a more spaced out section of the city. The buildings are still tall, they're still grand, they're still big, but they are not they're not smothering each other or the roads. The roads are wider as well. They are like nice, thick paved. They're not cobbled, but they're these
Paved?
big blocks. The roads,
Yeah.
yeah, they're paved. They're these big blocks of what look to be some sort of like gray rock.
pretty well designed city here. It's very gridded. It's very it's got radials of triangles, but this space is a little more freeform. It's still got the grids, it's still got the infrastructure, but it's got more space to breathe, less crowds. You make your way through.
It's like the general dress of people finer and like everything is just nicer here.
Fairly.
There's still plenty of people that are like just passing through.
There's plenty of people who are just like normal people, but there are less wretched, squalid folks here.
Sure.
There's still a very, very defined upper class of people who are either wearing very fancy, gilded, nice armor, usually designated as war priests, as magnates, or people wearing like thicker cloth with like actual gold or silver embroidering, tunics, big fur capes or coats and stuff like that. But you guys make your way. It's this grid that it's got these radials, but it's also got these kind of T intersections that almost octagonally circle this hill, and then with gradients up the side to connect to the octagons of roads. It's kind of the infrastructure here. But you make your way up one of these vast grades towards where you're pointed to go. They say that that Piekaharfen is located in a place called Jarl's Echo. And as you make your way up the grade, you come to a big square, like 4 football fields put together size square. It is completely devoid of things. No benches, no lamps. The only thing that is in the square is in the center there is a throne that's on about 2 stacks of stone. It is made of solid gold. And as you approach the square, there is a semi-translucent figure sitting in the chair.
Okay.
Surrounding the square are all sorts of different things, including the library, which is a large, rotunda-like building made out of this pink quartz. But
is the semi-translucent figure alive?
You can surely investigate this.
Okay. It's not obvious. They're not like moving and.
It's pretty far away.
Okay.
You're just sitting in the throne right now.
Okay.
You can continue to approach it if you'd like that.
Is that Jarl?
Probably.
Would go toward the library.
Okay.
Piekaharfen, is that what you said?
Piekaharfen, yes.
Pieka.
P-J-E-K-A. For those of you who don't like the phonetics.
No.
Okay. I had that, but with I.
Don't tell us how to spell.
Piea Harvey.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Don't say that. I'm going to say that in real life. Oh my gosh.
It's Tyler.
As you guys approach, I think the only other building that's really sticking out to you guys on the square, there are a lot of nice buildings, but there is also another building that is it's a pretty large semicircle-like building. The predominant structure is probably a ship that's about 80 feet in diameter, the prow of a ship, built into the side of one of the kind of cutoffs of the hill, and then with timber circling around it. That's the only other one that's probably super sticking out to you guys. You continue on towards the library, though.
Do we have to walk by the guy to get to the library, or is like not close?
I don't remember what side it's on, so I'm going to roll a d4 and see. It's on the western side. You could kind of cut diagonally.
Yeah, we want to see this glowy dude.
Okay. You approach.
Who are you?
There are
What are you doing?
a fair amount of just dried,
Hey, dude.
cured flowers at the feet of this throne, as well as what look to be like coppers, jewels, various bits and bobs of wealth deposited at the front of it. Sitting in it is this regal-looking figure with a high, kind of spiky crown, It's hard to tell with the luminescence because he's kind of shining golden, but it looks like this crown is completely like black iron. He's dressed in like furs and like thick wool of what looks to have a reddish hue again with this luminescence. About shoulder length
even
hair.
the fabric is glowing?
Everything's glowing.
Okay.
It's about 50% translucent, 50% opaque. You know, like you can see through it, but there's still some form here.
Sure.
Shoulder length hair, like a intricate woven beard that goes about to his belly as he's sitting. Stern look, it's just staring off into space, motionless, no movement.
Is there like a plaque or something?
No plaque.
Does the crown in any way resemble the crown on the avatar of Grumsh?
No.
Okay. Just ask.
I mean, they are similar, but you know that's probably coincidental.
What would I like be feeling while
Roll
I look
history.
at this thing? Like, is it like beautiful and elegant? Is it like serious and threatening? Like, what is the vibe?
From the figure? Like, what's his
From
vibe?
this whole setup, this whole thing, like,
I mean,
is it like
people have obviously left things here.
Right.
It's not threatening in any way, but perhaps hopeful, perhaps devoted. You're not sure exactly.
13.
13. No connection probably to Grumsh's crown.
I just had the same thought.
probably?
Just curious if it resembled it. If it just looks like it's a similar material, then not worried.
13.
13.
Probably a past Jarl. Or
Shrine.
present Jarl or future Jarl.
Enshrined.
So, what do y'all think? Is that a ghost or is that some kind of commemorative illusion?
It looked like something magical.
Well, it has to be.
Should we like go touch it and find out?
No, I don't think we should touch
Oh,
it.
okay.
No.
Should we like see if it talks to us or something?
Maybe it's like an automated tour guide. You should go talk to it.
What?
It's like you talk to it and it gives you fun facts about the city.
You have those here?
No.
Remember our one brother found that like it was like a black ball, and when it had like one little part cut off, and when you would like shake it, a thing would come up, and it would say an answer like maybe or like doesn't look good, but you know.
I don't think anybody showed that one to me.
Yeah, you were kind of weird. It was really
Yeah.
cool until you realize like, oh, there's only like the same 8 options that will come up. So like any question you ask it,
That you should have shown it to
it's
me.
more. It wasn't mine.
Okay, well, I don't remember.
Remember
that.
Worf?
Yes.
I'm gonna go ask it a question.
Okay.
I guess I'll go talk to it and say,
You die.
so when was the city constructed?
Silence. The eyes
All
veer
right.
forward before briefly, almost for half a second, the eyes flicker down to you and flicker back to their original position.
Oh, well, I think as a ghost, we can ask somebody about it later. I don't want to be near it though.
Oh. Would we have caught that? Just kind of like standing off away from him?
No, probably pretty subtle movement.
Okay.
No, you would have caught it. He wasn't.
You know what?
silly.
No more questions like that. From now on, we know everything that we ever want to know. We just assume.
That's my job.
Yeah, we all saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, great Jarl. We are honored in your presence of this beautiful city.
I would start nodding her head in agreement.
Thank
And
you.
the prayer hands with Zach also. And like take out the like feathered pen and put it with the flowers.
Nick will take out the gold.
Roll a d4 for me.
Oh,
Doesn't look good.
1. As you say your little blessing, the eyes shift to you, Zek, and hold you in their presence. You cannot move, not physically, but you're kind of like emotionally rooted to the spot. And at first there's this sense of wonder that overtakes you before you feel this crippling bitterness and anguish before it looks away again.
Does the feeling disappear when his gaze disappears?
Oh,
Zek, are you okay?
I don't want to be over here anymore.
Oh, okay.
see.
Let's go somewhere else quickly. Maybe.
It was like a
Trying to follow the customs without knowing what they're there for.
I
Here's
felt
what happens.
like wow, this is really amazing, and then I hate everything and everyone and so much pain, and then his eyes look away, and then I am myself.
Let's leave. I don't like this. It gives
How
me
you
the
can-
goose pimples.
Put the feelings on me with his ghosty eyeballs.
There's magic ways to do that, and we probably don't need to.
Do you know what that is? Visa, what happened to me?
Probably affected by the presence of whatever that is or whatever's on the other side of it.
I have lots of spells that make
Let's
people
go find
feel
a book
things.
about
I'll
this.
tell you about the things I can do, and then we'll figure it out.
As you move on to the library, we will pick up at Pieka Harfin next episode. Thank you guys for playing and listening. Bye.
Can I?
Goodbye, Jeremy.
Bye, Jeremy.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Nope.